Welcome back. This is Hammer Time. This show is brought to you by Betway, Transformation Beauty Salon, TUC Abude Building, Uhuoboho, Samson Adon Mental Rehabilitation Center, Kumasi, and Serenity Empire, USA. Social responsibilities. You don't know what taking so far.
With the job and the role I play, I'm a jack of all trades.
Okay.
Because I a lot of people coming over for counseling, for all sorts of things.
Okay.
I jump in anywhere I'm needed, everywhere. I don't even limit myself to any.
Yeah, besides that question, because of mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Have you thought of it before? Mental health, it looks like you're correct.
Mm-hmm.
You also correct, but you maybe my own correct. Maybe the intro, you didn't introduce when the DNA. Is it spiritual or
so?
Because most of the time you read meaning to it. So if you are by four,
I've written 50 books.
Yeah.
And one of the books I have is on personalities.
Right.
And I've done a lot of messages on that. COVID really exposed people who had serious mental health.
Right.
Because everything around everybody was locked down.
Mm.
Now, one of the things with people with mental health is that once you give them a limitation, it triggers something.
Right.
If you confine them into a space, it triggers a lot. That is why there was a lot of murder cases at homes. Couples divorced, husband shoots wife, wife kills husband, because it triggered a lot. It became a problem seeing a person, a spouse, 24/7 without not doing anything. You can't go out. It triggered a lot of mental issues. Mental health is real. With people in this side of the world, they're able to detect it quick sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes the people in Africa, we don't have the facilities to detect that unless you're walking on the streets naked. But disorder, personality disorder is also another kind of mental health.
Okay.
There's some people who have serious paranoia complex, a mental health. Or suspect too, they think somebody is
after them.
Somebody is saying something evil about them. They are paranoid, a mental health. If I go into the different categories of mental health, baby. I'm telling you, there is this narcissistic behavior. It is also another type of mental health. A lot of pastors have that narcissistic behavior. A lot of husbands have that narcissistic disorder. Or dreams a normal, a mental health. In fact, here it is categorized as you need to go on medication. Or see a drama on alpha. No be a narcissist. He feels insecure. He feels like he has to be the center of attention. If the attention goes anywhere else, they have a problem. Even if it's their business partner, their wife, or whoever taking over, they want to be ahead. They intimidate people. They make people feel less on themselves, but that makes them feel good about themselves. It's a narcissistic behavior. You have a disorder, and it is also to do with mental health. So you see, there are different categories of mental health that a lot of people. You can have a CEO who has mental health, but onim so will be. Oh, you gotta get that book. I'm telling you. When I taught about this book, it opened all of our eyes. In fact, everybody at church, everybody took their madness and said, this part I'm mad. Here, this is my norm. And these are all disorders that has to do with mental challenges. Of course, there are some that are to the extreme. I mean extreme, where they hear voices. I've had people come in here and they came because they want deliverance. What's the problem? Onama or voices. Something is telling you jump out of your car, go and jump over the cliff. Oh no, serious stuff I deal with. Some of the people you see quiet, they were delivered from mental health.
Okay, so Adom Mental Rehabilitation Center, Kumasi, state of the mental health in Ghana. This year, and we'll definitely reach out to you.
I would love to get involved. I understand human psychology. I am a psychologist as well. I love the periods of recovery where you gotta help people to recover from whatever. Sometimes people hit mental health because of past trauma that they could not discuss, things that they could not confine in people. It now grows. There's some people, they have to outlet whatever they're going through, because the more they create a processive mechanism, the more it affects them. Can I also tell you something? That mental health can also be hereditary, where people inherit it from their parents, their grandparents. I know a family that all the men have that issue. So these are all things that before you deal with it, you got to find out. So of course there is that demonical side of it, where you got to pray for that person, cast that demon out, and then now help that person to recover mentally. And I have pastors in place that I know how, based on their personality, how they can engage, or how I instruct them to engage with these particular sets of people.
What does it take to establish a church?
If it was easy, everybody would do it. It takes a lot of sacrifice and commitment, and be ready to be lonely. Yes, sir. It takes a lot of sacrifice if you want to do it well. I've literally spent more money in 4 years in ministry, because sometimes you're left alone to do it. If I come in here and the power has gone off, I'm not calling nobody. I have to pay it. There's been times where we got in and internet had gone off, and the admin will come, Daddy, we need a favor, there's no money in the church account. And I've done this several times, but it comes with it. At the end of the day, is your vision.
Okay.
So if it's your vision, you gotta fight for it. Of course, you'll get some people who, they just feel to be a part of this vision, and they will be a part. But I can tell you this, out of 100 people, you just get one person that literally believes in that. It takes a lot of sacrifice. Listen, I've mastered the art 4 years now. There are certain shoes, certain shirts I've worn for 4 years. Not that I cannot afford anything. Yes, I can. But you got to think about all of that. How to make sure, even the band, you got to take every week. I spend not less than $800 just on musicians. Every week.
The crew.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Every week. I ain't never know how much is coming in for you to, but every week for 4 years. In fact, before COVID, some of my musicians were on $700 a week. When I started Rock Hill Church, when I started, I was flying some of my sound engineers from Maryland just to come for a service and then leave. I did that for almost 7 months because I believe in excellence and I believe in doing things well. So when I say sacrifice, this is what I'm talking about. Of course, commitment. You've got to be committed to it. Even if you don't feel like doing it, you've got to stand and do it. Of course, you pray and hope for those who would believe in it and those who believe in them, to trust them, to stand in your gap when you want to just take a quick break. So sacrifice and commitment. And then you pray for God's favor, because there are a lot of churches everywhere. You need favor before the people. The people have to just love you to be with you. In spite of your errors, in spite of your mistakes, they've got to stay with you. So it's a very lonely place. It's a very depressing place as well. When you win one soul as a member, it's like a trophy. I trust me, you've got to be very patient as well. My son, actually, he's been with me for almost 10 years. He came he came here, and then during our concerts, I was very calm this time around. I was literally just quiet. So he comes to me and he's like, Daddy, that's what's the sound. He was telling the drummer, Daddy, Daddy's changed. If it was the Badu we know, he would tell you, get out of the instrument, go rehearse before you come. But now, because of the church, it's made me more of a father. I understand foolishness. I understand how somebody can just make a mistake and expect you to deal with it. So I'm more calmer. I'm more patient. You got to walk with a lot of wisdom. I have about 12 pastors underneath me. The youngest pastor is about 48. The elders is about 71. See, so you need to walk in a certain type of wisdom in order for these people to trust your leadership. So it comes with a lot of work, but above all, you need God in everything you do.
Some people come to church for spiritual help or physical help, in terms of money, in terms of assistance in so many ways. Who qualifies for Rock Hill Fund?
How did you know about Rock Hill Fund?
Because I'm part of the church now.
So when we started church,
okay,
of course you got to make rooms for errors and all of that. People will come in and say, oh my God, I'm stranded. You know, they'll start coming to church for about a month, and then they'll tell you they're stranded, and you know, their story, you know me, my heart is, oh Jesus, just tell me a story and I'll just have to find something. And then you take about $1,000, pay for everything, pay for the accommodation, pay for this, and then within 3 months, they disappear. You know, and I was taking these things from my pocket because you want to be a pastor, you want to help everybody. Then God told me it's foolishness. Stop it. If you don't develop that tough heart, tough skin, you will be abused. So this is what God gave me. This is the idea God gave. Every month, because the church is also young, I didn't want to hurt my pocket. Every month, every member contributes something.
Okay.
$20. And so we put your name down, we record your name. Should in case there be bereavement, you lose a family member, you're going through certain challenging moments, we will be able to take a certain amount, not your demanded amount, a certain amount to help you. I pray nothing happens to anybody, right? Because when nothing happens, it rolls over. It rolls over. It rolls over. And we call that the Rockwell Fund.
Okay.
That's why I asked you, how did you know about that? So, of course, being in leadership, you've got to always create a system that will begin to work for itself. And they know that if you're not a regular Rockwell Fund giver and you have a problem, it's on your head, because you never know when trouble will hit your door. And by the grace of God, religiously, everybody does what they need to do. Pastor Jackie's in charge of that. And so that's how we give help to people. And of course, now I've also built a barrier. First, I used to let people talk to me direct, and if they did, there was no way I could say no, right? Of course, I have to have something in my pocket, no matter what. I'll give you an example. Somebody came, I was praying to God for a seed. God, I need money. I don't have anything on me. That's what I literally depend on. Every time I pray, God sends somebody to come and be a blessing. So somebody came into my office, gave me, I think, $300. I'm like, yeah, I got $300. I stepped out. And when I stepped out, I was told that this young lady had traveled from some far white place. She didn't have a place to live. She wanted to stay in the church. Hey, what are you doing here? You know, and I looked at her. I'm like, where are you from? I realized she was Ghanaian. Now that hit another nerve, because that's my own person. So what do? We did not trust that girl. I personally didn't trust the girl. So we kind of called her mother. It was a bit complicated. In short, I had to split the money into two and give her cash. Let her find a hotel. I made protocol, drop her at the hotel. No, I think they didn't drop her. We showed her where the hotel was, because we don't want you to sit in the car and then, you know, cause any problems. So she walked to the hotel and we gave her a place to stay, you know, and we said goodbye. But so people don't give me money anymore, because they know that if they give it to Papa will give it out to somebody. Yeah. But it comes with the job. I enjoy what I do.
Are people abusing it?
Oh no.
So you started this fund, like in a year. Let's say you have 5K in the prophets. How are you managing this into the end of the year? No, not ABS.
You see, you cannot. It's a very interesting question, but here it is. In a month or 2 months, things could be perfect. The next month, things could be turbulentic. Everybody could come and they could be in trouble, right? And you would have to go in and go in and go in. So you're hopeful. You hope nothing happens. That's why I'm praying for you, right? But then we deal with it as things go. Of course, we have a limitation to individuals. So there's a certain amount. Once you cross that for the year, you can't come back again. You know what I mean, baby? Oh, you know, one yes, that's when people begin to abuse it. But I'm blessed with good people. I'm very blessed with good people, and I know all of them. So I know it when they are in need. I know it as a father. I know what they're going through, and by the grace of God, we are able to meet their need. So it's not like any stranger can come from outside and say, I don't have money, and no, we'll show you where to go to find, not here.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, you will be abused.
Shows, tours. What does it take, requirement, to have you on a show? Because I know you have a team.
I travel with a football team, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. You see, what people don't know is that I do shows based on relationship.
Okay.
My show could be just me or as many as 30 people.
Yeah.
It depends on how I feel about the person. And if I'm at that stage where we have a lot of invitations, but I literally sit down and I tell the team, I want to do this. I don't want to do this because it takes a lot of my time. It takes a lot of my energy. I'd rather be here in church, being a blessing to my team, staying home with my family, than getting up to travel somewhere and hey, it's not. I've gone a pound. Yeah. So it depends. It could be from a 3-piece band. Like I have a concert in December in Akwa Ibom State, Lagos. All they're flying me to go and do is 3 of my songs. I'm going with just 2 musicians because it's a whole choir. I'm going with Donnie, Hezekiah Walker, and some other guys. And then I did Asaba. That one I went with about 10 people. And then I did Ivory Coast. I went with 30 people from Canada, from America, from Ghana, from Nigeria. So it depends on whatever it is, and we give you a budget. If you can meet it, we hit it. If you want to do something, of course we're brothers. I know how to cut corners for you. I know how to tell the team, leave it. He's going to do it this way, we do it that way. Or make sure he's happy. So it all depends.
Would I say your show in Abidjan, was it Abidjan? Yeah. Was the most challenging shows you have ever?
Every show of mine has its own challenge. If you followed me historically, every show, I remember doing the National Theater, the biggest challenge was people could not go in there. They had to kick people back home. I remember 2007 or 2009. Then we went to the Dome. Do you remember? Right after Sarkodie's gig, I said I want to do that one. And also, people could not fit. Those who were outside were more than those who were inside. Mano Peli. I went to say they wanted to do this fireworks thing, and the man can't say. I say Jatum we benedi. The moment I started, the band was there. They did that fireworks. It hit the curtain, and the curtain caught fire. Then I realized that the Dome only had one exit. So I'm standing in front of, I think, 4,000, 5,000 people. They've seen fire burning right behind me. But I knew that if I panicked, there was going to be a stampede. So my band were saying, Daddy, it's burning. And I told them, we're still singing. So it kept the crowd quiet for 5 minutes. And that's all I needed, hoping that the fire service would come in quick and do something. Because if it's just one exit, 4,000 people, if I said fire, we're going to have a problem. Of course, I had to apply experience. I was singing, smiling, but I was looking at the organizers like, what are you guys doing? Guess what happens? The fire service guy comes. I think that was his first day at work.
Oh.
Hammer. Akwani be an idea and extinguisher. Oh me, I know the Guyi na so stages. What's that? Oh the Gu Misu the Gu. All my players, he just literally extinguished everybody on the stage, including our instruments and everything. Yeah, now the thing is gone, but everything is white. Every instrument is white, and the guys are looking at me like, what do we do? I turned around and I said, we are still going. Nobody stops, and they didn't stop. They know it. If I say don't stop, don't stop. I'm the commander general in charge. Whatever I say is final. And it was a great concert, but that was the challenge. Take me to Accra Sports Stadium. Oh my God, we got everything ready. The whole place was ready. 11 p.m. I'm getting ready to go. It starts raining cat and dog. The whole place is flooded. I was in my hotel, I remember, Holiday Inn, and I was called by the organizers to make a decision. Are we closing the show or are we not? Then I said, I'll still do the show. I thought people had left, but I was like, listen, people have paid to be here. Guess what? We got to the stadium and people were standing in the rain.
Waiting for you.
Open the floodgate. They were screaming, praying, holding hands. Ministers of stage, actors, actresses. They were all soaked. Oh my God, that was like, oh my God, this is incredible. That show till date is one of the most memorable concerts I've ever had. We left Accra Sports Stadium to go to Kumasi Sports Stadium. We thought we were going to have a good one. Well, guess what? This time, the rain is times 2. It rained so bad that the tent we were in, the rain literally sunk into the tent, broke the tent. All the water fell on the instruments, dropped on the instrument, and all those instruments on stage were mine. I literally shipped them to Ghana for my concert. Half of the instruments were gone. I was to make that decision again. Do you want to go ahead or you wouldn't? Listen, me, I told the crowd. and the beautiful thing is I told the team, so we had merchandises, we had t-shirts. I took every t-shirt of the band, we started cleaning the stage, wiping the stage, and that's when, I'll give you the video. Reverend Yosin, Abeku Santana, SP, is it DSP now? DSP Kofi Sapon. Everybody was leading worship in the audience. Oh my God, in the rain. Now, I told them we're starting at 1 a.m. But Kaise insurable electrical. So my guys went on, and every time they were playing Charlie, they were getting electrocuted. My dancers will jump and slip off the stage. Oh, be to be someone something that which I know before you show. But that concert, the healing, the power. Oh, and guess what? The cameras were not working. The rain hit the cameras in Accra. The rain destroyed the cameras in Kumasi. And that's the problem I've always had. My cameramen are not able to capture the true, picture of what happened. And so the rain messed it up, but it was one of the most memorable concerts. Then you have Ivory Coast. Everything is ready. But I told the team, the rain follows me everywhere I go.
Now you are used to rain.
Oh yeah. The moment I get to open the forget. It's your better. Oh,
it's no problem.
It is a sale we invited me. I want to say umbrella. Have you got an umbrella for me and my people? Because it's gonna rain. Once I stand there, it will rain. It doesn't matter what weather, it will rain.
You have a song for rain?
I have If This Is Your Power, Let It Rain. I have Open the Floodgate, Let It Rain. And so, but Ivory Coast, I knew it could rain, but I made them check the weather. They said perfect weather. I said okay, but I told my band, in case it rains, this is what we're gonna do. I think when we got to I've never seen this kind God before. If I'm not be born, this breeze kind of went through me. I was like, Jesus is about to rain. I felt that breeze, that breeze that comes before the rain. If I'm not born, I'm saying,
trouble.
Then it started drizzling. Now I was caught in between. Do I cut this show off? End of the day, my Jimmy CKV, he's showing a toy, collected my money. It's not me. Sorry, sir, call me again. That's what any other person would have done. But I looked at the crowd, I looked at the organizers. I said, I took off my shoes, my shoes, no. I turned to the band and I told them we're going manual. And I said, manual, I mean, we're using every drum, we're using every trumpet, we're using, because I knew the rain was going to mess up the keyboards and the computers. So if you listen to the set, we switched to manual, and my goodness, the crowd took the chairs, put it on their head. I jumped in the rain with them. The microphone said, I told my I was not going to stop. The sound engineer, I flew Frankie from Ghana to and I remember the sound guy was like, stop the show. Send in your machines, I was looking at him like, I can't. I will not. I mean, the best thing to do is to stop. You collected your money, but hey, I looked at them. I was like, no. I did 3 hours in the rain.
Wow.
With the crowd.
Wow.
I was drenched wet. 3 hours in the rain non-stop. And it was one of my best concerts ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
I watched the video.
It was incredible.
Is there a competition between singers and pastors in some churches?
There can never be a competition.
I'm asking this because I didn't come over pray. I said, I saw you now to my pastors and people so much conscious.
And yet competition, I think.
Now what is it?
No, I know what you're trying to say, but I think they lack literacy in that area. Okay. And sometimes they feel subduing you is the right way of making them feel powerful. But you're actually a good person when you bring a gift out. So, for me, I don't really believe in that. If you've served a pastor as a musician, as a worship leader for more than 5 years, 6 years, and your life has not elevated, he has not invested in you, he has not even given you an amount of money to go to the studio to do something with your life, and he hasn't stood to support you, told his church members to support you, then you've got to leave. I'm not afraid to say, you've got to leave, because they will waste your gift and get another person to replace you. And then if you were on payroll, they'll tell the accountant, they normally don't do it themselves. So the wicked accountant who has a stiff face, he's the one that will tell you we can't pay you anymore. They'll frustrate you out, force you to now react. Then they say, you've rebelled. You're here. You cannot be serving in the church for about 4 years, and it's like it's all about, I'm so sorry, the preacher man. No, things should be put in place. Those who have that extreme gift, you've got to take pride. Go to Nigeria. Most of these pastors are literally projecting all their musicians. Look at Pastor Chris. Pastor Chris raised Sinach, Eben, Joe Praise, Moses Bliss. All these people are from Christ Embassy. And Pastor Chris has a yearly award show. Lima. Whoever wins the song of the year, you receive $100,000 in your bank account.
Wow.
$100,000 in your bank account. Tomorrow morning, the next day, and the song or artist of the year is this person. $100,000. That Lima award, one award is $10,000. Into Chatria, $30,000. This man does it every year. Every year. Why do you think his sons and daughters are bringing out hits? Because even within their own home, they are made to push further. They're made to work hard. Okay? Look at Pastor Paul at the Pharisee. He does experience and will put his musicians on there. Out of Pastor Paul, most of these artists have gotten a global audience, a global voice because of Pastor Paul. Look at Pastor Biodu, Fatoyinbo, Koza. He's built all his musicians. Okay, I want to find out one Ghanaian pastor that can say, well, we have Reverend Kranchiankra, we have MOG, but look at the amount of pastors we have, power-packed, anointed pastors, and ask me how many sons in music have they raised?
You don't find them.
Yet when they're singing, they depend on these boys or these young ladies to literally, when they're ministering, they depend on them to lead worship. So I think a lot of attention, a lot of spotlight should be drawn to help them. It's not a competition. It's even you look better when you take care of a child, a son or a daughter.
Chatting some of these musicians concerns me, say, we feel say sure you start singing for other churches. They don't stay in your church.
So if they push you, where do they want you to go and sing? Come on, think about it. If Opushua, if an oppressor kotunim, ubetunim on them, the bedroom, nasaso, any living room. No. If you have that global call, of course, allow them to go and sing anywhere. Let people invite them. I have a bunch of superstars here. I have Jaden Arnold. He's one of the biggest organ players in the whole of America. Jaden, in a month, you see him 3 times. I'm aware that my son has to go to other platforms to minister. When he comes Tuesday, you see him here, leading worship. Sundays, whoever needs him, my son, go. I have Tario. Tario plays for Akon, Tario is always in my concerts. But sometimes in the whole year, he's on a tour. But then make him a tights, not Tario, send him a tights. Say, Papa,
what do you need?
This is yours. Thank you so much for praying for me. You have Tamika Patton, who is one of the greatest singers in America, and she's my worship pastor. And she got to be here, but she got to be invited. In fact, I'm praying for people to invite them. Of course, in my own platform too. I put them on there. So you cannot say be a superstar or be a global icon, but you're not permitted to travel anywhere. Of course, there are some who have the gift, but are for the church, local church. And there are others who have the global grace. It's up to the pastor to detect. Imagine Joe Mettel in his church and the pastor saying you're not allowed to travel. How is the world going to experience and enjoy Joe Mettel? You understand? So Joe finishes, he goes back to his church, sits down on a Sunday if he's free. That's how it's supposed to be.
Yesterday, prophecy time, how do you deliver the message? Because sometimes in civil law, that's a tough. You can't go all out to say the things you see. How do you do it? Because some people will just say it as it is and they cause problems at homes. What do you understand?
Okay, so first of all, I've been around the prophetic gift for many years. Over 25 years ago when most of these prophets started coming to London, I was the one they will call to help them with their churches. I'm not going to mention names, but all the major prophets, you can ask them. I was the one they will call on to literally lift up worship or build their choir. I've been around them for a long time. Number 2, the one that my father named him after. He's one of the greatest prophets that was ever born from Kumasi, a friend Kwame Badu. His church was World Key of Christ. In their time, he died in the 80s. He was one of the greatest prophets. So the seed of prophetic was already inside of me. I just needed to be around prophets for the seed to grow. So when it came into its full force, in the fullness of time, I've stood around, I've educated myself. I know the good, the bad, and ugly. Okay? And there's something called word of knowledge and there's something called word of wisdom. Okay? Now, word of knowledge is you hearing what God is telling you concerning Hammer. Word of wisdom is God will show you the raw screen, or the angel you're operating with will show you the screen. Word of wisdom is checking the maturity of Hammer and knowing how to speak in a coded language that Hammer will understand without causing confusion. That's word of wisdom. Without causing confusion, without causing scare, and without causing fear, and without causing panic. Because most of the time, most of these immature prophets rather put fear on people, and you say, oh, Ubabe, you're going to die tomorrow. And it's your mouth that killed that person. It wasn't even in their destiny for them to die. So what you witnessed yesterday was me applying or combining word of knowledge and word of wisdom. Understanding the mindset and the maturity level of the people I'm operating with, and knowing how to present the story without causing confusion or without causing a problem within a family.
Which of the musical instruments do you play best?
Drums.
You used to be a drummer for one of these gospel music. Was it Victoria Sefo?
Never played a drum for anybody, is a lie.
You know Victoria?
I know Auntie Victoria.
You play for her? Like any of the concerts?
Never played for her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I got Jesus Casa from her. Yeah, I'm very close to
in UK,
them.
right?
Of course. They would come to UK, and sometimes we would drive them, like giving them a lift, or
that's exactly what she said. She said, Sonnie Badu was a drummer. Okay, treated me so well anytime I'm in UK. He drives me around. Okay.
Not drive as a chauffeur.
No, I know. I mean, but the time.
No, taken like you're here.
Yeah.
Mr. Isaac has left everything he's doing to make sure you're comfortable.
Exactly what she said.
Hosting you really well. Yeah. And she is such an incredible person. In fact, Jesus Casa, which I recorded with Darren Hobbs, I made sure I bought it off her. I just wanted to do something different with it. And they gave me their blessing. May her husband's soul rest in peace. But great woman. I've never played for any other person, but then I'm a drummer.
Okay, so time is running out. So let me conclude with this church, Rock Hill, Stone Mountain, Atlanta. 4 years. Do you get time to accept invitations to other churches? And if so, what do you look at before you accept such invitation to those churches?
So I'm very big in church development. Of course. In this stage of my life, I have to be a husband.
Yeah.
I have 5 children. My eldest daughter is 18.
Right.
My last one will know 3 months, as I say.
Well,
nanu ya ma 5 at all. What you know? Father, there be many break COVID no ya so yes. 2 net was COVID babies. So I have that. I have the church. It's still young. And so I'm very selective of where I've got to go in order not to waste my time.
Right.
Because every second means a lot to me. So let me give you my week. Sunday morning, we have Zoom service. That's for all our e-church members. They're all over the world, so they just log on, and I've got to have the service. And we have Sunday afternoon wisdom service. Sunday evening empowerment service. Monday, day off, family time, wife and kids. I serve them. I cook for them. Listen, whatever you want daddy to do, I'm here. I'm not going nowhere. I don't even move the car. I'm here. Tuesday, night of deliverance. That's what you saw. That could go about 2 a.m., right?
Yeah.
Wednesday, if I have a conference, I'm flying out Wednesday morning. Get to the place Wednesday afternoon, preaching Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday morning, flying Sunday afternoon.